Hello, and welcome to Bear Necessities. My name is Bear, and today we're going to be talking about the Echoes of Faydwer expansion in Everquest 2. Let's start with some basics. There are 5 new open world zones: Greater Feydark, Butcher Block Mountains, Steamfont Mountains, Lesser Feydark, and Loping Plains. I do want to mention that there are quest lines in each of these zones where you can do your majority of leveling from 1 to 70 by just doing these quests sprinkled with some open world dungeons and instances. You can actually level the entire way in Faydwer. There are 6 new open world dungeons, with Crushbone Keep from 20 to 30, Kaladin from 30 to 40, Clackanon from 45 to 55, New Tunaria from 55 to 65, Mistmore Catacombs, which is 65 up, and Castle Mistmore, which is also 65 up. There are 7 new heroic instanced dungeons introduced in Echoes of Faydwer, with the Divinian Throne at 30 to 35, the Mines of Meldrath from 50 to 55, Court of Innovation from 50 to 60, a Catechism from 60 to 68, the Obelisk of Blight, which is 70 plus, and the Crypt of Aldoon, which is also 70 plus. There's also one old world dungeon that's added, Nectropos Castle Tribulation, which is the 3rd installment of the Nectropos Castle story. There are 4 new instance raids that will be coming out with EOF, with the Clockwork Menace Factory, Freethinker's Hideout, Mistmore's Inner Sanctum, and the Emerald Halls. There are 2 new raid contested or world bosses, with the Pumpkin-Headed Horseman and contested Mayong Mistmore. And honestly, that's just the beginning. EOF introduces new crafting skills, starting with transmuting. This allows you to essentially salvage gear, adepts, and master spells into adornment crafting materials. Second, adorning. You can use these crafting materials to create a variety of adornments. Echoes of Faydwer introduces white adornments. These can be socketed into every piece of gear and provides a variety of stats. Once you get leveled up, you'll definitely want to fully socket your gear to improve your effectiveness. Some notable ones are resistance adornments, as they are very helpful to raiders, especially at the beginning of an expansion, and they will help you survive hard-hitting AoEs. And the final trade skill introduced is Tinkering. In contrast to Everquest 1, where only gnomes can become tinkerers, everyone can become one in EQ2. This trade skill allows you to create a number of nice utility and consumable items. Here are some notable ones: Overclock Mana Stones, Feign Death, and Repair Bots, but there are so many more. EOF also introduces a new alternate advancement tree. Every class will get their own specific tree and 50 new AAs. These AAs will drastically increase the effectiveness of a number of classes and really do start making each class come into their own. So get out there, kill some named, do some quests, and get those 50 AAs. Echoes of Faydwer also introduces Deities. Teased at the end of the Fallen Dynasty, Zabuxruk foretells the return of the gods. This is partly in the form of deity selection. Each character can choose to follow a deity by going to one of the following quest starters for each deity. Good races, or people who live in Kinos or Kelethin, can choose the following: Mathaniel Mar, or the God of Valor, Kelios, the Goddess of Tranquility, or Tunair, the Goddess of Growth. Evil races, or people who live in Freeport or Neriak, can choose the following: Kazakh Thul, or the God of Fear, Inaruk, or the God of Hate, and Ralosek, the God of War. Finally, there are 2 neutral deities that both good and evil races can choose: Brel Ceralis, or the God of Below, and Salyusek Ro, the God of Flame. For each of these deities, you'll do 5 quests, and throughout these quests you will receive a deity pet that will passively grant you stats, as well as a few house items called altars. Finishing these quests will open up a number of limited use spells called Blessings and Miracles. These can be received at your altars by using essentially your faction or favor. You can gain favor by sacrificing items to your deity. Blessings and miracles are very powerful, so make sure you choose wisely. You can renounce your faith by going to the deity quest giver if you want to choose a different one, but you will have to do all the quests for the new deity. Finally, I did want to mention that the deity's final quest will reward you with a cool looking cloak. Originally, Echoes of Faydwer was the expansion that opened up the cloak gear slot, so there are some awesome looking cloaks that were introduced at this time. If you aren't starting a new character and you want to get to Faydwer, you can ride the boats from Thundering Steppes and Nectalis Forest. These will take you to the Butcherblock Mountains. Druids and sorcerers also have a number of ports that go to different areas in Faydwer. The big quest in EOF is called Swords of Destiny. This quest will dive into the lore of the Soulfire weapon. Soulfire is the sibling sword of Claymore, so we are building directly on top of the lore we discovered in Kingdom of Sky. Also, a bit of extra lore on Soulfire. This sword was taken by Lucan Delaire from the Avatar of War after the Battle of Defiance in Freeport during the era of the Second Relosian Army in EQ2 history. Soulfire is what allowed him to eventually take over Freeport and become the tyrant he is today. This quest starts in the Common Lands at the ruins of Valmar, so get to working on it. In terms of heritage quests, there are a number of them ranging from early levels to level 70. Some notable ones are the Crested Mistmore Shield and the Cloak of Flames. There are also a number of side signature quests that give cool items as well, like Shield of the Magi and the Stormhammer. And finally, there's a number of new mob types, so we will have a lot of new lore and legends, including Clockwork, Bugbear, Kobold, Brownie, and Werewolf. As you can see, Echoes of Faydwer is packed with content, and I'm sure I'm missing some things. However, I hope this was a helpful primer, and if you enjoy this type of content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later.